back. It's episode 2 of Skin Deep, Belfast's Derm Doc podcast with the expert doctor and dermatologist. It's Dr. Bryan.
Hello again, how are you?
I am very well, and my skin is, I've been keeping out of the sun since last week.
Good.
I've become paranoid since last week. We had a great debate about keeping out of the sun. Yeah. So that's me. I'm going to keep my lily white Irish skin. So again, we have our guest with us, our lovely guest, Dr. Suzanne.
Hello.
Another expert. We're so lucky. We've got the two experts here who are going to tell us all about, this week we're going to talk about itchiness and eczema, things like that. So let's delve into that. There's one thing that you guys talk about, and it's a skin barrier. What is a skin barrier?
Skin barrier. Well, your skin is in itself a barrier on the body. It's the largest organ. It surrounds everything. But in itself, there's lots of different layers.
Yes.
And the top layer of that is our epidermis.
Yes.
And within the epidermis, the top layer is the stratum corneum.
Yes.
And that's made up of dead skin cells that have all compacted in together to form layers of almost like we're looking down on the hard sheath that protects and stops bugs and so forth getting in, but also keeps water and proteins and the nourishing ingredients that make our cells grow and flourish in. That's complemented by oil and sebum, which is on the top of it as a lipid-soluble lipid layer. And then getting more complex about things, there's loads of bugs and microorganisms that live in harmony on our skin to keep the acid levels healthy.
Wow, okay.
And so forth. So it's a very complex
It really is complex. I mean, I thought we just had like skin, but clearly not.
So that's it.
Yes.
So it's
It's the outer layer.
It's the outer layer now. Yeah. And it's only something that people have talked about recently, my skin barrier is compromised. What does that mean then when it sort of is compromised?
So it basically means that outer layer, we sometimes describe it as being a bit like a brick wall.
Yes.
So I tend to go like this, but you can go like that.
Yes.
But it's trying to describe that you've got this very protective outer layer, a bit like a brick wall. Yeah. If you can imagine, that's keeping all the water in and everything bad, to prevent out. So when that outer layer becomes impaired, and it can do for lots of different reasons, then that brick wall is crumbly, there's gaps within it, and so it doesn't work as effectively.
Yes.
So that's what we call an impaired skin barrier, and that can happen for lots of different reasons.
So whenever you're in clinic at the Cathedral Dermatology Clinic, how many people would come to you with just general, I'm a bit sort of itchy and irritated and they're not quite sure what's wrong? Would that be common?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, they're not quite sure. They know something's not quite right. It's not sort of spots, but it's sort of like rashy kind of.
I suppose you get your patients who have grown up with damaged skin barrier because of their eczema, so their atopic eczema.
Yes.
And it starts off with maybe on their elbows or behind their knees, and they've grown up knowing that their skin is dry and sensitive and becomes inflamed and itchy. And then you get people who attend and perhaps have realised that they react to everything. So everything they put on their face or different sunscreens annoy my skin, or sometimes not even know. Say, the skin around my eye has become really sensitive, inflamed, red, flaky. I don't know why. And usually that's then complemented by itch.
Yes.
Because your body's response to, as Suzanne said, those breaks and cracks in the skin is to try and repair. So you get aggregation of inflammatory cells, which then release histamine as part of the healing process, and it triggers itch, and that's when people scratch and actually tumbleweed, and things can actually get worse because you're scratching the already impaired barrier.
Yeah, now eczema is a huge problem, and it seems to be something that's got worse. Now, I don't know, maybe it's because people are putting more chemicals on their skin. It does seem to have got worse, and I know some people are absolutely plagued with it. Is there anything that can be done?
There's loads that can be done, and I suppose the important thing for us as a dermatologist is to see them and to diagnose the right type of eczema.
Because there's different types of eczema. I think that's important again, is to think if you do have very dry, red, itchy skin and it's more widespread or really impacting what you're doing, you're impacting your daily life, then definitely recommend seeing a dermatologist, because getting the right diagnosis of what type of eczema you have, because the treatments can be slightly different, and we sometimes have investigations and tests we can do. So it's not just a one diagnosis. There's several different types, and
you really have to delve into it. Now,
first,
as much as we all love our local GP, they're not experts in that. They'll look at it and go, "Oh, take this cream," but that cream may not be the one for you. So that's why you need to go to an expert like yourself at Cathedral, because you'll be able to do the tests. And like, if somebody is listening to this now and they have like their skin is red raw and they've been to their GP and the GP hasn't been able to do anything, can you help them?
Yes.
I love the way you went,
Yes.
yeah.
It's our bread and butter.
Yes.
So, as Suzanne said, there's some people come and have just generalized bad atopic eczema that's red and flaky, and we can help. We can increase the strength of the steroids. Some people maybe need oral treatments, and not forgetting that when the skin's impaired, we talked about stopping the bugs getting in. When the bugs get in, you get infections. So you have to maybe consider antibiotics even before you start trying to treat the eczema.
They've itch scratched and then it goes around in like a cycle. Yes.
But then there are those patients who have put the wrong things on, or these things are starting to become sensitized or allergic to, and we can do patch testing. So patch testing is a type of specific type of allergy testing to ascertain what ingredients that patient is sensitized to. So then we can do the test, find out what, and it's a 5-day process. So the patient has these strips of little chemicals and ingredients put on their back on day 1. They're taken off on day 3. We read them to see is there anything immediately jumping out as obviously reacting, and then day 5 they see us.
And what are common things that they could be allergic to? Could it be something like dairy or?
The specific test wouldn't test for those. It's ingestible. These are things that are sitting on.
Sitting on your skin.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would say fragrance.
Fragrance would be a common one. Preservatives. So a lot of things that we're putting on our skin would have preservatives in them so that they don't go mouldy.
Yes.
And that can be a very common contact allergen, we call it. So
Yes.
Nettles.
There's about 30 different ones we would test for.
That you test for, and they'll be the most common. Now, do you find these days, on TikTok, because we all love TikTok, everybody's obsessed with my skincare routine, and it's about a 9-step skincare routine. You're shaking your head.
Yeah.
Suzanne, why are you shaking your head?
I think there's very few skin types that could tolerate that amount.
That level of
stuff.
Poking and hoking.
Yeah, totally.
The way I've described this to other patients is that, and this might seem a bit daft, but your skin is a living organ.
Yes.
And it's not like a piece of paper or a wall that you can just sort of
paint over
and just put stuff on.
Yes.
These are cells that are, living cells. And if you're putting a lot of stuff on, at some point they're going to just react back and say, not happy.
Yes.
And that's when you get dry, red, itchy skin. So you have to be very careful not to overdo the whole skincare routine.
Yes,
it should be probably about two to three
max. 2 to 3 steps, not like the Korean skin. No, but we're
more
really,
than that, you're probably just
really fashionable is Korean skincare. And funny, I did read about why it does work, and it works because it gets people into a habit of basically washing their faces. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of it's quite mild, but they go for that lovely glass skin.
Yeah.
I think
you have beautiful skin, Bryan. Can I just say that? You've got, doesn't he have gorgeous skin? It's like glass skin.
Wash my face in sunscreen.
Really?
2 steps.
There's a wee bit more to it sometimes. But
what do you wash your face for? Oh, Bryan has his own skincare brand, everybody. I've forgotten about this. Yes, let's get into your skincare brand.
Okay. So BPM Skincare is a range of...
That stands for Bryan Patrick Murphy.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
That's it. You've Googled me.
I'm a fan.
And it's a range of non-prescription but combination ingredients in products that I see so many people, Suzanne said, we see the people come through the doors all the time with these 9, 10, 11 million skincare problems or regimes, and their skin is not in the right place. Yep. They're using the wrong ingredients.
Yes.
And to be quite fair, it's very difficult over the counter to look at a box and look at the ingredient list and work out actually what is that.
It's meaningless to most people.
So many different names. Even coming back to the patch testing, some of the ingredients have about 10 different ways they can be described in a product list. Yeah. So I wanted to keep it simple for patients and clients at the clinic that if they wanted a good skincare wash for their acne with salicylic acid, for example, we have that. And then we have ascorbic acid, vitamin C for the sort of brightening and maintenance of antioxidant in the skin.
So say you don't have a lot of money, what would you two recommend for like a sort of cheap skincare? Like what mine would be is the Astral cream. Remember that, the one your mummy used? If I don't have much money, which quite frankly is quite often, I will delve into the Astral cream, which is $3.99 from the chemist, and I find it works really well for me. I
tend to say to people, particularly with moisturiser, so in the skincare, we don't have a moisturiser. I haven't gone into that because it's such a personal thing.
It is personal, isn't it?
Our skin type is completely unique to all of us. And to what one person might spend £200 on creme de la mer or whatever, that's fine.
Yes.
But actually, a bit of over-the-counter $1.99 hydrating moisturiser might just be enough.
Yes.
And equally so, I know a certain very popular high street brand reacts with my skin and makes me go red.
But what works okay? There are some, like the Nivea. You know the Nivea in the blue tin? That works for me.
Works for you.
It's quite thick, but it works for me.
Yeah. I think the one thing I would always say to people is being wary of, with trying to repair and nourish your skin is the right product and the right moisturizer. So the whole thing about humectant and occlusives, which I don't know, how do you describe that to patients? I say that lighter is better and body creams aren't for your face.
Yeah.
I like that you just looked at me there. Just before we came on air, I did tell Bryan that I didn't take my makeup off last night and slept in my makeup. He's now shaming me.
But it's making sure you know what's in your...
Yeah, and I would, in terms of like the cost and how much to spend on things.
Yes, this is the other thing, yeah.
So I think I normally say, look, if you're going to wash your face and use a moisturiser, really you don't need to be spending huge amounts.
I don't think you do either. Yeah.
So those two things, I would say you really can just use a nice, simple cleanser and moisturiser. It doesn't need to be pricey. Other things, though, you sometimes you spend a bit of money on. Sun cream you don't need to spend a lot on. Most sun creams are absolutely fine.
Yes.
You don't need to spend a fortune, but...
You're using more when you're active ingredients, making sure it's the right ingredients.
What should we be shunning? What shouldn't we be putting on our faces?
From a cleanser point of view, I would tell people not to use soap, because bars of soap, our skin is naturally slightly acidic.
What about on your body?
Again, if your body can tolerate it, fair enough for washing. But for your face, your skin on your face is different. And if you use plain bars of soap, which are alkaline, you can end up actually causing an alteration in the pH, which is the acid level on your skin.
Right.
And that's why back in the day people used toners to try and reverse that and bring that back in. But a lot of our modern day cleansers are already pH balanced and safe for the skin. So using a designed face wash, I tend to personally find is better than wash your face with soap and then moisturise, because you may actually be stripping it.
I find that if you go for the expensive cleanser, it's better. The expensive cleanser is better than the expensive moisturiser nearly. I like the more expensive cleanser just to take everything off.
Take it all off.
Yeah.
And there's different types of cleansers as well. I think different skin types need slightly different cleansers. So if you have oily, acne-prone skin, it's a different kind of cleanser that you should be using than someone who's got maybe really dry, eczema-sensitive skin. Quite a different approach to cleansers for those two types of skin.
Yeah.
There's two things I want to ask you about. Wipes, cosmetic wipes. His face fell there. Just it's an absolute no.
No.
And what do you call that stuff? Micellar water. Bryan is not a fan of micellar water.
It's okay.
It's okay for taking makeup off.
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah.
It's okay.
It's not an everyday recommend use, but it's not the worst.
I would use a wipe sometimes. You go out to like a wedding and you get a full makeup done. I would use it to like peel off the makeup and then do my cleansing. Like almost to scrape everything off. Have you think absolute no to wipe?
I think it's just the wipes are, they're a cosmeceutical.
Yeah.
So the ingredients are listed and proportionally so. But certainly if you had a piece of tissue that was wet and you put it out on the counter and then you got your wet wipe and put it out, half an hour later your piece of tissue is going to be dry, but your wet wipe isn't. We talked about preservatives earlier.
Yeah, what's in that?
That you're putting on your skin and leaving on and going to bed and lying on all night. If you've got in any way a delicate skin barrier, avoid.
And how bad is it to sleep in your makeup asking for a friend?
I've never done it.
Is it terrible?
I'm different probably to you. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
It really isn't. I think it's more
like her.
I've done it too. It's just, I think it's if you've got, again, problematic skin and you tend to break out, you don't want to be leaving heavy makeup because it's more likely to kind of cause you to break out further. So if you have completely plumb normal kind of skin, it's not going to do.
Just every now and again.
But
less than once a week. Less than once a week. Or you could just do that thing where you go up and look how good I look with my makeup. And then why does my skin break down a little bit whenever I'm stressed? I get this thing here, that itchy thing inside of your face, and sometimes it goes down my neck a little bit. Is that my skin just freaking out?
When you're run down, you tend to find that you get coughs and colds more quickly, and
I feel it's like my skin going, no, Kim, stay in. That sort of
it's a reaction. Like your skin is, as I say, it's so big, and it will react and manifest to what's going on, as Suzanne said, when you're unwell otherwise. But I suppose like a stress response for us is for our cortisol levels to change inside our body, and that will then cause dysregulation in all various other hormonal pathways and so forth. But your skin then dries out, and as you said about when you're stressed, you scratch and rub, and that's a habitual thing where you basically break down the barrier by scratching and rubbing, so it starts to go red. So it's very normal for people to experience that, but equally so people who've got psoriasis and eczema and a diagnosed problem, those alterations in hormones will most likely encourage flaring as well.
Right, so what have we learned today? I love going over what we've learned. Rashes can mean that you're stressed, that you're using too much product on your skin. If it's itchy, go and seek help. Don't just sit scratching until you bleed.
Yeah.
And eczema can be cured. You can, it can be dealt with.
It can be treated.
It can be dealt with. Yeah. So if you are, listening to this and you're scratching your skin raw, you don't have to do that. And do you treat children? Like little children seem to suffer from this a lot. I mean, could you bring your toddler to you?
At the clinic, we don't see pediatrics, but we've got plenty of colleagues in the region who would see children
yes, you could
privately or
put them in the right direction. Yeah. And less is more when it comes to skincare. Please stop the 9-step skincare routine. And look after your skin. Well. Take off your makeup, Kim. So that's been very interesting. Thank you very much, Dr. Clements and Dr. Murphy, for coming along. Now, what are we talking about next week? This is the one that I'm interested in, spots. We're talking about, we're going to do acne, we're going to do squeezing spots. So if you love that kind of video, if you love watching spot squeezing videos, please tune in, because they're going to tell us if we can do it safely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.